I never thought my life would unravel the way it did. Honestly, I never imagined anything would change at all. My world was steady, simple, predictable. Until he started looking at me differently. Until his presence began to linger in ways I couldn't ignore. Suddenly, the lines I thought were clear started to blur. Ethan and I had been married for 8 years. We had a solid life, comfortable, stable, and for the most part, happy. He was the kind of man anyone would feel lucky to have, kind, dependable, loving. I told myself that was enough. And maybe it was. Until Ryan. Ryan had been Ethan's best friend since they were kids. He was part of our lives, always there for barbecues, game nights, weekend get-togethers. He was naturally charming, effortlessly funny, and carried this quiet intensity I had somehow only recently begun to notice. Or maybe I'd just started to admit I had noticed all along. It started out small. A glance that lasted a little too long. A touch that stayed just a second too late. A compliment that felt heavier than it should have. "You look beautiful today." Innocent, right? But when Ryan said it, something in me stirred, something I tried hard to suppress. I kept telling myself it was harmless, just my imagination. But I was lying, and I knew it. One evening, Ethan invited Ryan over for dinner, just like countless times before. I cooked, we drank wine, we laughed around the table. But beneath it all, there was something simmering, something electric and dangerous. Every time I glanced his way, I caught him already watching me. His gaze was unreadable, intense. After dinner, Ethan stepped outside to take a call, leaving me alone in the kitchen with Ryan. I busied myself with the dishes, acutely aware of how close he stood behind me. "You've been quiet tonight," he said, his voice soft and cautious. I didn't look at him. "Just tired," I replied, trying to sound casual. He didn't move away. Instead, he stepped closer, his presence like heat against my back. "I think about you more than I should." I froze, turned to him, heart pounding. "Ryan, don't." He searched my face, and in that moment, everything was clear. Everything we had been trying not to acknowledge was suddenly out in the open. "I can't help it," he said, voice tight with emotion. I should have shut it down. I should have told him to leave, told him he was wrong. But I didn't. And that silence said more than words ever could. Then Ethan's voice floated in from outside, breaking the moment like glass. Ryan stepped back, jaw clenched, and said quietly, "I should go." And he did, leaving me gripping the sink, breathless and shaken. Nothing felt steady anymore. From that night on, everything changed. Even when we weren't alone, I could feel it, the tension, the pull. He didn't have to say anything. I saw it in the way his eyes followed me, in the way a single touch could send a shiver down my spine. I kept telling myself I was strong enough to ignore it, that nothing would happen, but deep down, I wasn't sure. Then it happened again. One afternoon, Ethan asked Ryan to help him with something in the garage. He stopped by while Ethan was out running errands. I was in the kitchen, pretending I didn't know he was there, pretending I wasn't waiting for something to happen. But then he walked in. I didn't even turn around. "You shouldn't be here," I said quietly. "I know," he replied. Silence. Then, "But you feel it too, don't you?" I wanted to say no. I wanted to say no. I needed to say no, but I couldn't, and when I finally looked up, he was right there, so close I could see the flicker of gold in his eyes. So close I could feel the air shift. The front door creaked open. Ethan was back. Ryan stepped away instantly, his face unreadable, but his eyes still on mine. And just like that, the moment was over. But I knew this wasn't the end. We had already crossed the line. That night, sleep wouldn't come. Guilt gnawed at me. I had let something happen, something I could no longer deny. The next morning, I sat at the kitchen table, my hands wrapped around a cold mug of coffee. Ethan read the newspaper across from me, as if everything was the same, as if nothing had changed. My phone buzzed, my breath caught. It was him. "We need to talk." I stared at the screen, torn. One part of me wanted to pretend nothing had happened, but the other part, the one that let him in, that let him whisper those words to me, more, "Not now. Later," I typed, then turned my phone face down. "You okay?" Ethan asked, not looking up. "Yeah," I lied. "Just a message from work." That afternoon, I met Ryan at the park, a quiet, secluded place we both knew. His face was tense, mirroring how I felt. "We need to talk," he said. "I know," I whispered. I don't regret what happened, he confessed, stepping closer. But you do. It's not about regret, I said quietly. It's about what this means. It means something, doesn't it? I looked away, heart pounding. That's the problem, I said. It means too much. He brushed his hand against mine, barely a touch, but it shook me. Then what now? He asked. We stop. We go back to before. Do you really think we can? I didn't answer because I didn't know. I tried, I really did. I tried to put space between us, to forget, but it was impossible. He was everywhere in my thoughts, in the quiet, in the space Ethan never filled. Then one night, when Ethan was away for work, Ryan showed up. I should have turned him away, but I didn't. When the door closed behind him, I knew there was no turning back. This is wrong, I whispered, even as I stepped closer. Then why does it feel so right? He said, cupping my face gently, and I let it happen, again and again. Each time promising it would be the last. Each time lying to myself more convincingly. The guilt grew heavy, poisoning even the moments I had once cherished. I became someone I didn't recognize. I looked at Ethan and saw only what I was destroying. He didn't deserve this. He was good, and yet, I had let myself fall. One evening, Ethan looked at me differently, like he knew something wasn't right. You've been different lately, he said. I forced a laugh. Different how? He hesitated. Just distant. My stomach twisted. Just work stress. I lied again. He reached across the table, took my hand in his. If something's wrong, you'd tell me, right? I nodded. Another lie. That night, I lay beside him, staring at the ceiling, drowning in the weight of what I'd done. I thought I could control this. I thought I could separate the feelings from the actions, but the truth is, I had lost control. We had crossed a line, and now, there was no going back. But the question that haunted me most was, how long until the truth caught up with us?